Hi, this is Pamela Wirth with the Encourage Your Wellness podcast. And today I have Dr. Cie. Thank you so much for being with us.
Well, I love being here. And of course, we have some four-legged stress reducers and exercise machines here to help us with the interview.
So you have had a pretty incredible journey. You started first in modeling, and then you went into acting, and then you got into health and wellness, rejuvenative medicine. Explain to us how this journey kind of came to be here.
Well, I've always really loved education, which is not surprising because you have to really love education to go to school long enough to write the papers and get a PhD. That's one thing, but that was not the original intent. I would say after I got out of my undergrad and went to work in advertising and marketing and things, I just really didn't make enough money. And so I went back to modeling for a while and I said, well, I don't have to stay in this. But then I realized, wow, you're getting to be an old model. You're in New York and you're 24 years old. Oh my goodness, you're getting old. This is hilarious because I'm 56 right now. But I said, I better not end up like that. So I moved to LA, started acting, and actually, it only took me about 2 years of getting parts in movies and TV shows that you would know, like Pulp Fiction or General Hospital. I noticed that if it wasn't me, it could just be any blonde reading those lines. And that's why I felt not self-expressed. I felt like, wow, this is so meaningless in my life, and I should have more meaning in my life. So I stepped back and I went to work for, again, advertising, but I went into direct response. And all we had was health and wellness products, health, wellness, fitness. And after a while, they said, wow, you're writing great copy. You should be in front of the camera, though. And I said, well, clearly I have experience. I could do that. So I went ahead and did it. And then I said, I have this idea for a show where we interview celebrities. We were in LA, we were in Hollywood, and why don't we interview celebrities and work out with them at the same time? We could do it all in gym clothes, and we could talk about the mind, the body, and the spirit. And they were like, nice idea. So we kept going with our infomercials and commercials. I probably wrote over 200 commercials for health and wellness products. And the numbers were going down in direct response. There was a time that everything that you put on an infomercial would sell like hotcakes. And, people just got a little tired of it. The market got saturated, it depleted. And one day they came to me and said, that show that you want? And I said, yes. And they said, we want to do it now. And I said, great, we're going to do episodic TV now. And we started out with 3 markets, New York, Chicago, LA. And we were successful, and more station groups wanted the show. So we signed on, 20 here, 50 here, another 100 here. And we covered the United States, pretty much the same stations that Oprah Winfrey had at the time. And we had Monday through Friday, we call it a strip show, although everybody kept their clothes on. And it was just wonderful. And stars had a great time, and it was really loved by people. It was a funny show, like a morning show, like Regis and Kathy Lee in gym clothes at that time.
Well, it's so much more authentic than a direct response, long form sales letter or infomercial. A lot of people might not really understand what direct response is, but you've sure been bombarded with them over the years.
Right. That's when they have a call to action and they say, buy now. Here you go. Here's the phone number. Get on it.
You'll never see it again.
You'll never see it again. Hilarious, but true. And from there, eventually, the other executive producer and I parted ways, and he went into a different form of television, and I went into more writing, wrote a book. My first Amazon bestseller is called Decide Your Future, Write, Direct, and Star in Your Life. That was not my first Amazon book, though. My first book was 7 Rules for Making Decisions. And I thought it was important for people to use their brain, think, and not make decisions by default, because so many decisions that we have are made by default. So I wanted to give people an empowered way to make a decision use their intuition, but also 6 other things, including calculating risks, noticing the time window that you have. So I was giving people a way that they could absolutely make a decision about anything and always go forward for what they wanted. These were not my choices. You impart your own preferences in this process. So it was a really effective process. It worked out really great, and it's been successful. I've been teaching about the brain. I got my PhD in psychology and a black belt, starting from the time that I was doing my show Infinite Power workout. And I just have worked hard to get to a certain place. So then I went back. I do TV now. I have an Amazon show, Apple TV. I have longevity reports with Dr. C. I have Beauty and Truth, where I interview a celebrity guest that you would actually recognize and know. We talk about health or beauty or something like that. And then we have fitness, we have mindset, we have critical thinking, and gosh, spirit, whatever you want, just to get you unstuck in life and get you healthier and look younger too. Because beauty is on the inside and on the outside, and people just need to be reminded of that now and then.
It's true. So what are some of your favorite things when it comes to aging? Feeling good from the inside out, feeling good from the outside in?
Okay. Well, I really love 3 things. And of course, this is going to evolve. But the 3 things that I've gotten the most bang for the buck have been bioidentical hormones. I personally had osteopenia. Then I had osteoporosis by age 50. And I started with my bioidentical hormones. I do, which are plant-based, okay? They are non-toxic if you don't overdo it. But of course, again, testing is so important. You should always know where you stand. But I just have pellets inserted in my butt, and they dissolve over 3-4 months. So in that time, my hormones are back jacked up to when I was 20 years old, and I feel great, and it's good for your skin, it's good for your entire body. So that's one really big one for me. The second one has been stem cells. Realize I was a black belt, and you have to take a lot of beatings to get to be a black belt. You hit the floor a lot of times. It can be very painful. And I redid my shoulders, I redid my knees, and during COVID, I lost...
Without surgery.
Yeah, without surgery. I literally walked in. I was doing Beauty and Truth, and I walked in for my first stem cell treatment, and they injected my knee, and I walked out in my high heels. I didn't even need any kind of anesthesia. I just got shot up, and wow, my knee started to really get better. And then I was sold on it. I just said, wow, I'm going to make sure that I'm using the right stem cells, and I'm going to do more and more. And I literally lost a lot of hair during COVID, and we decided to inject my entire head with stem cells, not exosomes or cytosomes. We just did full-on stem cells with 100 other growth factors. And within maybe 5 weeks, my hair was just like coming out like, wow, it was so great. And I'll never forget the doctor. She was like, wow, that was a great experiment. And once in a while, we'll inject stem cells into things. And I think we are going to have some guinea pigs tomorrow, but it's not like that. It is very well thought out, planned, and ultrasound to make sure that we inject the right areas. No, I don't do that, okay? I'm not that kind of a doctor. I work with a DO who does that, and she's fantastic.
No, that's super. And with my mom, after she had chemotherapy, interesting journey, and some of the past listeners will know that she went through chemotherapy and radiation and surgery, and then we took her down to Tijuana where she was doing natural cancer killing cells, stem cells, and she did the stem cell treatment on her scalp, and now her hair is coming back thick and pretty, and so your body can repair.
Absolutely, your body wants to repair, so don't stand in its way. But really, the thing that I do every day for regenerating myself is red light therapy. I have a commercial bed. Okay, so I don't use a small device. I don't use just a mask. Now, if you have a mask, go ahead and use it. It's not going to do cognitive benefits for you because it really probably isn't designed to go that deep. But my bed has 4 wavelengths, and the wavelengths are light wavelengths. Some of what you can see, some of the light you can see is red, that on that end of the spectrum. Now, the other end of the visible spectrum is not good for you at all. But when you get all the way to red at the end of the rainbow, then you have this healing light. So literally, if you go outside at sunrise and at sunset, you are getting red light. You're not getting a huge dose, but it's a nice dose. It's better than not doing it. So have your coffee out there. Have whatever you're doing out there. Walk your dog, at sunset, because that's healing light. And don't put on sunscreen then too. But, you go out at noon, the white light can kill you. So you just have to be careful of that. But on that spectrum, it goes into the invisible light. So you go from the rainbow into the invisible or near infrared spectrum, and then you go into far infrared. You've heard of that. Sometimes people talk about saunas that are far infrared. In certain cases, you can get burned by far infrared. They don't do that in red light therapy and near infrared. But when you go past that, you're into microwave. So just so you understand where this all goes, where these wavelengths go. So the healing wavelengths that I use are like 630, 660. That's for your skin and beneath your skin a little bit. And when you get into the 800s, you are going a lot deeper into the organs and things like that. 880 is great, 850 is good. And then I also have 940. So literally.
Do you lay on a bed and it also has a thing that's over the top?
Yes, I get in there like a sandwich.
Yes.
Yeah, and it goes a lot faster because I'm in there for 20 minutes. And I have helped a lot of people and companies. I wrote a book about it. The book is called, what is the book called? Transforming Health and Beauty. Red light therapy for you and your pets. Because my dogs, as soon as I open that cover in the morning, they jump right in. They know it's good for them, and they're right in there with me. And it's a really great thing. It's super beneficial for everyone. It can lengthen your pet's life. It can take away their pains, their arthritis, and I highly, highly recommend it. If you want more information, you can go to my LinkedIn, and I will try to consult with you personally, best I can. My LinkedIn is Cie Allman-Scott, or it's Cie Scott, PhD, whatever. Put that in, and, I would love to help you best I can.
Yeah, we'll be sure to put everything in the show notes, too. And, I love my dogs. Obviously, you love yours. From a mindset and from a relaxation standpoint, I have to imagine that that's one of the best things that people can do for themselves is to have a...
Oh, yeah. It is medically proven in the psychological world that these dogs will heal and that petting a dog will bring better health into your life. Yeah, so they are very precious, and they can give you back so much more than what you put in.
Yes. Anything else that you want to make sure we touch on? You've been so helpful.
Well, I'd love to help you with your red light therapy. And, if you are looking for a bed, I do have some sources of beds. In fact, I have one company that makes a very powerful bed, even more powerful than what I have, and it's less expensive. And I happily introduce you and get you a red light therapy bed for you or your practice. I probably won't be happy until every single police station has their own red light therapy bed, and it's on every corner, and everybody has access, because you cannot believe what it can do for your inflammation. It gets into the mitochondria of every cell, and it does have the ability to kill off the diseased cells and energize and help the cells that are healthy. So you will feel different pretty quick if you get the systemic benefits, if you're not just doing this part or the face or, it's astounding what systemic benefits can do to change your life. Every system of your body, from your bones to your digestion to your cognitive abilities in your brain, everything.
Super. Well, thank you so much, Doctor. We really appreciate it.
Well, I love being here. Thanks, Pamela. Okay.